All right, Billy Ray Delta here, back with another episode of the wildly popular series, A Minute of Panic or Maybe Not with Billy Ray Delta. I'm Billy Ray Delta. This is episode 4, and in episode 4 here we are going to focus on fake news. Now, why are we focusing on fake news? It's because it's kind of a recent phenomenon. I remember back when I was a kid, uh, your neighbor would come over and say something like, "Well, hey, the Antonucci's across the street, their daughter just had a baby." And you can be relatively certain that what they told you was accurate. But now, I mean, most likely your neighbor got that information from the Russians. And it's real hard to tell. I mean, the difference between real news and fake news, and I'll give you an example by giving you two facts. First fact: the Gerber baby, the little cute little baby that's on the little cans of baby peaches and stuff. He grew up to be a geologist and was eaten by cannibals. True story. Second fact: one time Babe Ruth got so hammered before a game against the Philadelphia Athletics that he strangled a clown to death in the dugout. And then he went out and hit 3 home runs. That's true story as well. But the thing is, one of those was actually fake news. But here's the real kicker. Both of those are true. The fake news was the fact that I told you one of them wasn't true. And they're both true except for the one about Babe Ruth. Now, how do we know? How are we, as a people at this point, how do we know about fake news? Well, it's because we finally have a president that's fit to enlighten us about what's going on. He says stuff. He gets up behind the podium and he says stuff like, "Fake news," and and that's fake news. He does that. He does that for the people. He does that to inform us about the truth. But here's the thing. Logically, I mean, if you follow his logic, I figured something out, and that is you cannot trust the press as per what he tells us. And who are the ones telling us that guy is the president? The fake news. So, logically, by his own admission, that guy is the only person in all of America who we know for certain is not the president. He's just some super intelligent guy that they picked out of a adult gifted class and put a suit on. So you might ask me, in this world, Billy Ray, of fake news, how am I supposed to know what's true and what's not true? And it's a little difficult to figure out, but I did it for you. I worked it all out, and what I concluded was everything you've ever been told or presented with as a fact is obviously wrong. 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Bullshit, he did. So logically, the only thing you know is true is stuff you never heard of. You hear stuff about Abraham Lincoln gave the Gettysburg Address. I mean, I read about that in my history books, seen photos of it. It's been verified by numerous historians. So you know it's not correct. Abraham Lincoln had 12 nipples. I never heard about that. Probably true. Which makes it a damn near certainty that Babe Ruth once strangled a clown. I mean, I'd never heard about that. It wasn't true for a long, long time till I realized I ain't ever heard of it. Made it true. Well, until I told y'all about it. And now I guess it's not true anymore. Anyway, so you asked the question, Billy Ray, should I panic about fake news? And the answer is yes, you should panic about fake news. Well, I mean, unless what I just told you was fake news. Draw your own conclusions. And then believe the opposite. Maybe.